Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Mindset Check. Today I have Tim Van Dam on the show. Tim, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
The title for today is Attitude Precedes Performance. Tim is a highly successful real estate agent. He has a great team out here in San Diego. And I wanted him to come on the show and talk about, of course, mindset. And if we go into other topics, great. But I wanted to start with mindset, how he starts his day, how he creates a sense of certainty that allows him to really approach the day with clarity and, like I said, confidence and the ability to pivot when obstacles come his way. So Tim, let's dive in. What does attitude mean for you? And can you clarify what attitude, when you said attitude precedes performance?
Yeah, that's one I kind of grabbed onto years and years ago, and I've had it as my screensaver at different points in time. But basically, if it's kind of one of those things. If you practice like you play, right? Like you if you think you're going to be successful, then you're going to be successful, and it's a whole mindset. And the same way as if you're looking at all the negative things and all the how everything is horrible and stacked against you, and then that becomes its own self-fulfilling prophecy as well. I remember clearly I had a baseball coach in high school, and it wasn't a very affluent community at all. And one of the very first things he did as a new coach that came in, he came in, got us all new uniforms. He did drills on how we came on and off the field, and he was just a big proponent of looking the part and showing up and being crisp on and off the field. That sets the tone for the whole game, and it really changed the mindset of that team, and we went on to be a winning team that which previously hadn't been.
What I think I'm hearing from you is before you can excel at a performance of any kind, whether it's sports, business, the attitude precedes that, right? And it does so in terms of belief, in terms of preparation.
Yeah. I mean, real estate's a good example, right? I mean, nobody comes out of the gate and starts out and takes off like a rocket ship. It takes time.
Hmm.
And so you have to have that mindset of, okay, I'm going to get up, suit up, show up, and I'm going to go. And I'm, and I know that the things that I'm doing today are going to pay off later, but I'm going to keep kind of a positive, strong mental attitude and just keep putting things in, knowing that this is going to pay off down the road.
And how did you know it was going to pay off? I mean, were you a realtor in another life? Like, how did you
Mm.
know, right? Like, how do you have that certainty? And I'm asking because if someone is listening and they don't have that yet, they don't have that belief in themselves, but they have a drop of it and they want more of it. How did you get there? How did you get that belief?
Yeah, well, my whole career has been in sales. My first job out of school, it was here's a phone book, make 100 calls, and when you get a number of people showing up, then we'll start giving you basically the bottom of the barrel leads. And I've proven that time and time again in different industries that I could go in, learn, and be successful. With
Mm.
hard work and determination and understanding just kind of the mechanics of sales. So I had the mechanics. I knew that I could sell. I hadn't been in the real estate industry, but I had been working in custom homes building before that.
Mhm.
And I had a good network, and I said, this is a competitive marketplace, but I'm pretty confident that my skill set will lend itself well. At the time, I was married, still am, but had a couple kids, and just told my wife, look, this is going to be a hard first year, but I'm pretty confident if we can power through
Mm.
this, I can come out the other side and do well in this.
And how long have you been doing real estate?
This is the beginning of my fourth year.
Wow. And I've seen you just blow up over the years. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to hear that you put in the time, you put in the effort. I'd like to focus on the mindset and the psychology behind it because that's something someone can apply today. They don't have to like make 100 calls, every week for the next, year for them to start seeing something. They can make a change right now in their attitude, and it'll directly impact their day and obviously their business moving forward. But let's talk about the compound effect, right? Because you're nurturing relationships, you're calling, you're watering the garden, so to speak, right? and you're planting the seeds, right? Is there a compound effect there for you, like over time? And your fourth year, you started to really see a jump in activity and jump in sales.
I would say the second year was really when it took off. The first
Hmm.
year, it was, hey Tim, you're a nice guy. We know you, but you're. And I should preface this. I was trying to break into high end luxury real estate
Yes,
in Rancho Santa Fe and the surrounding area. So that's an even
it's hard to
tighter.
do.
Yeah, it's not an easy market because I mean, people may know you and they may like you, but they say, well, we don't know that we trust you with our $5 million asset. That sort of thing. Um,
You know.
so I had to get that credibility. I think that was the hardest thing is to get those first couple under my belt to
Uh-huh.
leverage that, and then that second year is really when it started to take off. But I still wasn't. It was all very much scrapping to get there. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have big budgets. It was really all sweat equity to build it. And then the third year, I was able to start reinvesting in the business in the second year, and then really double down on that in the third year, and then have taken that to another level. This year I'm halfway through the fourth year here. So,
Man,
um,
congratulations.
thank you.
I wanted to dive into how does Tim prepare himself for the day, right? So, let's kind of go back in time. You're in year one, and every day may seem like, oh, you know, this is challenging. So how do you wake up? How do you prepare yourself mentally for the day?
Everyone's different, right? And one of the things that I've learned about myself over the years is that if I don't physically go someplace, I don't really do well. I'm not a good work at home guy,
Hmm.
except after I put the kids to bed and work until 10 11 o'clock. I can do
Yeah.
that. But in a perfect world, I'll get up at about 4:30. I hit my knees in the morning, say a little prayer, get up,
Hmm.
go, do a workout from about 5 to 6, come back, shower, get everything ready, make breakfast for my family, and then have breakfast with the family, get off. And if it's a school year, I take the kids to school.
Hmm.
If not, then I just spend a little bit more time at home, and then head in, and then I'll go to daily mass. I'm a practicing Catholic, so I do that,
Hmm.
and then I kind of shoot the breeze with some friends or just different people afterwards. You never know who you're going to talk to, and
Right.
so I spend time there, just kind of having a little social time. Do that till about 9, and then I come into the office, and my office is very close by, and so I come in, sit down, have another cup of coffee, and sit down with my team, go over things. Every day is a little bit different. Sometimes I'm running into a meeting, breakfast
Hmm.
meeting, whatever. But if I don't have meetings or showings, then I'll come in and sit down with my assistant. Okay, let's review the day. What do we have going on? What are we trying to accomplish today? What needs to get taken care of? Where are we at? And that kind of thing. And then I just go from there. Then it's
Yeah.
every day's different. But typically it's hopping on the phone and following up, making calls, and focusing on revenue producing activities.
Right. What moves the needle forward, right?
Right.
So you obviously have a great routine. You have a great rituals in the morning. There's that community connecting with your family. Obviously, spiritual connection. You're feeding your soul. You're working out. You're feeding your body. You're moving, feeding your mind with all that as well. You mentioned there are two kinds of people, and we can close with this, and I may have a follow-up question. Depends, but there are two kinds of people, you said, because ofs and in spite ofs. And you mentioned a few others. If you can kind of elaborate on that. What kinds of people are there? You said there's two. Were you always one or the other, or did you kind of build yourself into becoming the other?
I have a little glass kind of paperweight on my desk that says "in spite of," and it says TBD. Tim Van Dam was a guy that I had
Mm,
started a business with in Boston years ago, and he gave that to me because I always said this. And essentially it's and you see this so much in real estate. Different realtors jumping from eight brokerage to brokerage, thinking they're going to get a better deal, thinking it's going to be different. I can look at it two ways. I can never be successful because I didn't grow up in Rancho Santa Fe, because
mhm,
I haven't been doing this for a long time, because X, Y, and Z, or in spite of the fact that I didn't grow up here, in spite of the fact that I am new to real estate, in spite of the fact that, whatever, the economy's down, I don't have marketing dollars. I don't. I'm going to be successful in spite of that fact. And
Mm,
so it really, to me, it's a decision, and it's something I think you have to make daily. Am I working from that paradigm, or am I blaming things? Because if you start getting into that mode of, and I do this even with my team sometimes. Well, hey, I need to get this done, X, Y, and Z. Okay. And then, do we do that? Well, I wasn't able to do that because we got busy, this. And I literally just pick up the glass at my desk. I'm like, in spite of the fact that I'm busy, this is what we got
mhm,
done. Right. So
mm.
it truly is a decision as to which way are we looking at things.
Yeah, it's a decision to either empower yourself or surrender to, you know, or surrender that power, right? And that's where your whole attitude precedes the performance. And it's awesome how you're able to add that and actually pour into your team, right? You pour and fill their cups with that attitude too of like, hey, how can I look at my current situation and say, I can do this. In spite of this, I'm going to do this, or versus choosing the perspective of powerlessness.
Right.
What's one piece of advice? It doesn't have to be your lifetime thing that you take with you, or can, but just one piece of advice that if someone's listening today and they're thinking, sure, this is possible for Tim, somebody who maybe is struggling with belief in themselves, or even with the idea that life can get better. What's something that you could share that might help them come out of that?
Another one that I really like is act your way into right thinking. Right. If your mind is not in a good place, then take some good actions, and you can control. And I just did a promotional video, and one of the things I said in there was, there's only two things in this life you can control: your actions and your attitudes, and that's it.
Mm,
Right. So I can control how many phone calls I make. I can control whether or not I drive to the office. I can, whether I smile, or I'm, kind of whether I'm talking negative, I'm talking positive. So the results, that's not up to me. Right. So
right.
I think so often people get focused on trying to control the results as opposed to the actions. And when you continue to focus on good actions, and then you're, even if things are not in a good way, even if your head is not there, it's sort of like, bring the body, the mind will follow. Right. It's
Yes.
if I'm showing up, I'm going to a workout, I'm meeting with friends, I'm praying, I'm making my calls, I'm doing good things are going to happen. Right.
Mm,
And when they don't happen, I can deal with it, because I say, you know what, I know I did everything I could, and there's nothing else I could have done, so I'm at peace with it. But when I'm slacking and I don't do the things I know I could have done, that's when it stings, when the results don't, because I said, you know what, I knew I should have made that call, I should have done this, and I didn't do it.
sure.
So now, how am I going to do that better today?
Man, powerful episode, Tim. Thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much.
Thanks for having me.
Such I'm so excited to get this out there. So insightful, so uplifting and empowering. Thank you so much, Tim. I gotta have you back on at some point, and thanks so much.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
All right, you too. Take
All right,
care.
thanks, Tim.
Bye bye.